2 of Costume Couture.
We made it to episode 2.
We didn't get canceled. Hurrah.
Can you get canceled off the internet?
Well, yeah. I think they can get banned at least.
Oh, okay.
We weren't banned. We weren't canceled. We're still here.
We said nothing racist that got YouTube to pull our show.
Yay!
So, let's get started. We're talking about X-Men at least. And there's so much to talk about with X-Men that we're going to focus on the original trilogy for this time.
Yes, the first 3 films.
We'll talk about the most recent 3 films eventually. We'll talk about some of the animation, and we'll talk about the comics eventually. So don't worry if this isn't your brand of X-Men. We'll get to it. We promise.
We'll trash it just the same. Don't worry. It's okay. It is okay.
So, as you know, every week we feature a cosplayer, and you can be Cosplayer of the Week too. Just go to heroespodcast.com, fill out the form, tell us everything about yourself, and we'll go from there.
Send us lovely pictures of you in cosplays. We want to see them.
Who's our Cosplayer of the Week this time?
It is a gentleman by the name of Jason Kiss.
And he sent some fantastic photos.
Yes,
They're so cool.
I am gagging over these photos.
So he sent us this awesome Nightwing, which was an official photo from Katsucon, and one of the better Nightwings I've ever seen.
I agree.
I kind of wish it was a little bit closer. I understand that the whole look was the photo,
darker and everything, brooding.
But he blends in well with the whole picture.
I agree, and he looked fantastic as Nightwing.
Yes.
So
let's talk about our favorite.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So he does an amazing gender bent poison ivy.
I haven't seen too many of them.
I am shook. The house down boots. Yas, gagging.
This dude does an awesome gender bent poison ivy.
Yes.
And if you've ever snooped on my page, you know I do like a new poison ivy every other week. So it's one of our favorite characters, and we are so happy to see this. This beautiful man is body painted from head to toe, covered in like these gorgeous leaves.
I'm loving the leaf sleeves. Oh my god, how
the leaf
sleeves. How ingenious is that?
So clever.
The red hair, his makeup's on point.
Absolutely.
Being in body paint in general is hard to do, but
so much.
Being
but
that
it's
naked in green.
This dude is just wearing the leaf sleeves and the leaf underwear, and that's it.
And he looks ripped. I'm just gonna
ripped like Jesus. Anyway, so Jason Kiss, thank you.
Yes, holy crap.
That you are currently working on a gender bend Gwenpool, which I'm really excited for that.
He also did a Future Foundation Spider-Man too.
He did.
On a taxi cab. Like,
were you really on the taxi cab?
We gotta, like, is that green screen? Was that, because he looked like he was on a taxi cab. Yeah. I'm like, are you paying the man for this?
Were you on top of a car and they just, I need to know.
Yes, we do. That was a great costume too, by the way. I don't see very many
I am excited for your
Foundations.
Wiccan too. I hope you have a Hulkling with you, because that would just be so
That'd
cool
be really
to
cute.
see that couple. But Wiccan's amazing on his own.
Agreed.
And you can reach, if you want to check out Jason Kiss, you can reach him on Twitter and Instagram at the Snarky Gay Guy, and I love your handle.
I know, it's so love it. Can we be best friends? Will you come to Kansas City and be our friend?
Be our friend, please.
Please. We'll drink and be snarky gay people with you. We'll make snarky comments.
So, his dream costume actually helps lead us into it. He wants to do a Noel from the X-Men, and Noel's a very difficult character. So yeah, let's start about X-Men.
All right.
Thanks, Jason Kiss, for being our Cosplayer of the Week.
Yes.
Everybody check him out.
We cannot wait to see many, many, many more of your costumes.
Absolutely.
All right, so X-Men. First 3 X-Men films. We're doing X-Men, X2,
United.
and then X-Men The Last Stand.
Yes.
So do you want to start this shit show of a mutant saga?
Okay, so overall, just by the looks and the costumes, nothing else, I was disappointed with the first 2 films. And that's because they put everybody in black. It looks like a superhero funeral throughout the whole thing. And the X-Men were always different from everything else. They were brightly colored. They never had anything matching after the very first group of X-Men. Everybody else was their own identity. and they were free to be themselves. Since the X-Men have always been used as an allegory for minorities and gays and anybody outside of the social norm, I felt that stripping them away and making them all a uniform, making them all somber, trying to do that gritty look, took that identity away.
I agree. Now, comic books since then have adapted lots of black costumes for the X-Men characters.
Absolutely.
Because
X-Force has done a really good job since they're a stealth team that has to hide in the shadows, since they are the team that carries out the dirty work.
It makes sense not being yellow spandex.
Absolutely.
It makes total
sense.
sense.
Psylocke's in a black outfit instead of blue, and Laura X-23, black outfit instead of blue.
Yep.
And, even Deadpool is wearing a gray outfit.
He's in a gray and black outfit, yeah. Mind you, so this film, so X-Men came out in what, 2000, the first one?
I
think it was 2000.
Yeah, I think so.
And this is the first time X-Men has ever been on film. So there were high expectations.
Absolutely.
I don't think people necessarily thought that they were going to go the whole 90s route with the bright, colorful costumes, but something along those lines. Now, mind you, for example, Wolverine's costume, he has little, brown or gold X's right there, and with the piping in the costumes too.
And Storm has her cape.
And each character has piping on their costume, which is a color. Jean has a dark green.
Yes.
Scott has kind of a purpley blue.
Yes.
Wolverine has a yellow gold, and Storm has silver.
Yes.
So they kept little nuances in there, but I think they could have done a little more.
I agree. I think Storm's is the only one that really looks like her character.
Yeah.
And that's because since Storm has been conceived, she has been in either all black or all white.
Correct. There's no really in between.
No.
So the X-Men, they're in all black suits. It's not, I get it that they did it that way because, that's kind of the way that Hollywood was starting to go with superhero movies. But I do wish they would have paid homage at least to their 90s counterparts, having in the back something,
Right.
They do say, Wolverine says, we actually go out on these things, and Scott says, what would you prefer, yellow spandex? So they make nods to it.
It was a cute throwaway line, but to me, there's nothing more to really talk about those four characters' black outfits. They exist, and that's it. Let's talk about Mystique.
She is one of the most drastic changes, if not the most drastic change.
Hella changes with her.
I'm happy with
liberty.
it. I'm very happy with it.
You are? Tell me why.
So, okay.
I need you to convince me.
Okay. The Mystique in the comics, she had, her white jumpsuit, as we can see.
She also had a black halter and black leather pants.
She has, the skull on her forehead and the skull belt, usually.
Yes.
Because they have her as a shapeshifter, she can transform into anyone, have any type of clothing. I think they thought that if she already had clothing on, it wouldn't make sense. Now, mind you, this is 1999, 2000 logic. So, things have changed since then.
Absolutely. In the comics, they always explain that whatever she touched could shapeshift with her if she wanted it to. She could touch you and shapeshift you, but she never used that because Mystique is an ultimately selfish person.
Yes.
And she didn't want to share her powers.
No.
So I get why they did the whole naked thing, and God, hats off to Rebecca Romaine for dealing with 6 hours of makeup.
No, 8.
It was 8?
In the first film, it was 8 hours. They got it down to about 5 or 6 in the last 2, but in the first one, it was about 8.5 hours.
Well, in the last one, she's only in her Mystique outfit for maybe 2 scenes.
Yeah, 2 or 3 scenes,
and then she's Raven.
Yeah, which we'll get to that later, but Brett Ratner.
We hate you.
But yeah, so I think it works. I love the scales, love the reptilian vibe, kind of a chameleon. She can blend in with her environment.
She was a force to be reckoned with, and she was a sight for sore eyes. And I hate to use so many cliches, but it's true. This film was so dark and cloudy and dreary the whole time, and I've never looked at X-Men like that. So the fact that you have this naked woman in bright red and blue as just a standalone was so much better for me.
Yeah. Which, I love they kept the red hair.
Yes.
And I love the scaled prosthetics. I love that, they kept her yellow eyes. They kept a good majority of her. Just
I like
nixed,
the addition
the
of
white.
those scales, to be honest. I my dream Mystique cosplay would be one of the 90s comic outfits with the scales added and the slicked back hair.
That would be cool.
I would merge the two.
Which a lot of cosplayers have done.
Yes.
And they do it beautifully.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I do agree that with that character, they did take the most risks, but it translated beautifully. People,
it did.
I don't know if they responded because people like seeing naked women on film, but if they responded because the character looked cool. I responded because the character looked cool.
Yeah,
I
never really focused too much on that. She was almost 100% nude minus some pasties. I focused on the fact that she was almost 100% nude and doing fight scenes.
Yeah, and she was doing her own fight scenes too.
She learned all of the fight choreography naked.
Yeah.
Like, so, that's impressive.
Yeah, to fight someone without a halter top, without
any
underwear on.
You don't have any
you're very exposed
on your body.
No, you have the
Things
scales.
hurt that way.
Yes, but she took on Hugh Jackman, and boy, did she held her own.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think Mystique for these films they did take some of the most liberty with.
They did.
Speaking of bad guys, let's talk about Magneto.
I think we should talk about Magneto, Sabretooth, and Toad.
Okay, so who do we go with first?
Let's do Magneto.
Alright, Magneto. So, Ian McKellen, the beautiful Ian McKellen, played Magneto.
So good.
His helmets, they did keep basically the same kind of, they just modernized it a lot.
They also made it more muted and darker. It was a crimson instead of a bright red.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Now, Magneto in the comics, more and more as time goes on, he gets buffer and bigger and younger. So
he does.
You know, he is every way Patrick Stewart's counterpart.
Oh, for sure.
And they couldn't have done better casting, but that Magneto no longer reflects the Magneto of the comics.
Not at
all. Just because of what they've done with him.
Exactly. The Magneto of the comics has a bright red outfit and a purple cape. Again, Magneto's put basically in all black. He has purple trim inside the cape. And then he has, or red trim, excuse me. And he has like a purpley crimson colored helmet, as you said. Other than that, all black.
Right.
Which, again, I think works. For him, at least, because he's the villain.
He is.
I like the red in the cape. It's very, subtle because you don't see it a whole lot.
Yes.
But for what they did, and especially with the helmet, it all blends well. It's, 3 colors and that's it.
Yes.
The end. And his look doesn't really change throughout X2 or The Last Stand.
No, it doesn't.
He may get a slight helmet upgrade, I think, but other than that,
he still has the very militaristic, grayish outfit. He still has the cape, and he always has the helmet. So it really, he stays very consistent.
He does.
The details and changes on him throughout the series is minute.
Yes.
And, same with Wolverine and Cyclops. Those two outfits don't really change either. It's Storm and Jean Grey get the drastic. They get the haircuts, and
Storm has a new haircut every single film.
And I'm okay with it.
I am too.
I'm happy that even in Days of Future Past, she went with the shorter look.
Yes.
I'm happy that Storm changes her hair so often because it's a way for Halle Berry to stick out in this dark world.
For sure. So, Sabretooth.
I love Tyler Mane's look.
It looked very animal, Sabretooth.
It did, and I wish his character hadn't just been brushed aside.
I agree.
I like this look way more than the Liev Schreiber look.
Yes.
Of course, Liev Schreiber is a much better actor. Tyler Mane is
He's
former
a
wrestler that only really did this and the
Halloween series. Yeah.
So you assume after this movie that he's dead. Same with Toad.
Right.
And that the characters don't go on, and that's okay. I'm fine with that.
But no, he has all these animal pelts on him. He has the long blonde hair, the sclera lenses.
Yes.
And he gets these
the
fangs, the claws.
And the nails,
he looked very Sabretooth like. He looked very much from the comics. I think more so than Liev Schreiber did. Because he was in like a black trench coat and that was about it.
Yeah.
I think this Sabretooth was very much, more towards the comic.
Right.
And he looked fantastic. And that was a heavy coat too, and he was in, skins, pelts, furs, leather, you name it.
Yes.
It was very Sabretooth. It was very animalistic.
How do you feel about Toad? I know his costume is not very remarkable in any way whatsoever. But the makeup that they did on Ray Park was a lot cooler, I thought, than some of the others.
I agree.
mean, really, it was Mystique, and then Toad got the most makeup work after.
Toad in the comics is kind of like a hunchback-looking man with like a green...
Mortimer Toynbee
I don't know what it is.
such a little slimy kind of character, and he's always drippy and unpleasant.
Yeah, snotty and just you can see that.
So this, using renowned martial artist Ray Park to portray him was awesome.
Yes, mind you, he was coming off of episode 1 for Star Wars.
Yes.
So he's no stranger to the makeup chair and everything.
And this was like his career peak. I'm so sorry to say that. I hope you get a comeback.
Yeah, that kind of was.
Yeah.
And then mural.
Yeah.
But his makeup look, he had, blotches of green, yellows, his skin.
He got the contacts too.
Yes, his skin wasn't fully green though. It was
like a
translucent kind of green. Yes.
Like he was always a little sickly.
Yes, exactly. And he had kind of green roots, I guess, in his hair. It was dark to see, like you said, 'cause it's a dark film, but from set photos you see he has, hints of green in there, whatever.
Yes.
His outfit is basically blacks, browns, and greens, representative of, a toad.
Yes.
But I loved it. He had, like little kind of like, moles and blemishes. He wasn't,
like a toad.
Yes, he wasn't, a clean-cut, good-looking guy like Hugh Jackman
is difficult because Ray Park is an attractive man in real life.
Very good looking.
He's a short guy, but he's buff and he's beautiful to look at. So to make a beautiful person ugly, it's usually Oscar bait. Yeah. Charlize Theron, we know what you did there.
That's true.
We know, girl.
You shaved your eyebrows.
And then it also is very difficult to hide the initial beauty, especially when you put on ugly makeup.
Right, you're like,
It's still, know.
I agree.
So the Brotherhood to me is leagues better looking than the X-Men.
Oh, for sure.
And there's not really much more to talk about.
Well, we're missing 2 people from the first one. We're missing Patrick Stewart.
I'm not talking about that.
But, Patrick Stewart, he basically looks like he came out of the comics. That's just basically it. He's in a wheelchair, he's bald, he has a suit on, done, the end.
As much as I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, as much as I love Ian McKellen as Magneto, Patrick Stewart being cast as Charles Xavier is one of the best casting choices
in comic book history.
In movie history.
I guess.
Like, God, I mean, as soon as it was announced, it was, this is perfect, I need this to happen.
And people, in the cartoon and everything, he wasn't British. He wasn't British until Patrick Stewart played him.
I'm fine with that.
Which I'm fine with, too. I think he should be British.
Patrick Stewart's himself is Scottish, and so is James McAvoy, which I thought was a really cool touch to do. But, they did play it with British accents, and that was completely up to them.
Same thing with Magneto, which I loved.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't love a good British bad guy? Exactly.
I love it.
And we have one more person. We have to bring her up. We have to talk about her.
She looks the best. Anna Paquin looks the best in the first film.
I agree.
And that's because her character is the most similar at this point. When you first are introduced to Rogue, you already see her as the tough, confident, ready to fight anybody kind of person in the comics. But when you go back into her history, she was scared and she was always frightened of her powers as a kid. Now, when she met Mystique and she was adopted by her, that was gone.
Yes.
And
that wasn't touched on in the movie, so we never get to see that.
At all. Like, my issue with Rogue is she never got out of the mousy phase.
I agree.
And it made sense.
And it's not Anna Paquin's fault. It is not her fault at all. I think the writing, she wasn't written well enough.
That's fair. That character, her journey makes sense, but she never grew. She never became this strong woman.
She never got to fly.
Well, she never killed Ms. Marvel,
so which makes sense. But Rogue, she wears lots of greens in the film to represent her green, 90s look. She doesn't get her white streaks in her hair until the very end of the film, which is fine. I'm okay with that because she keeps them through the second and third one.
I actually like the way that they did her outfits, a lot of sweaters with hoods and gloves, and
yes.
I thought she looked very tragic and beautiful.
There was no bare skin at all, except for her face.
And that was it.
Yeah. But, you know, costume-wise, I thought her costumes were really good. Character-wise, I wish they would have so much more with that character.
Let's move on to
That's
2.
just me. So
X2 is infinitely better.
Yes.
And we don't really need to touch on too much of the same characters.
Everyone basically stays the same, except for Sabretooth is presumed dead. Toad is dead.
So let's talk about Nightcrawler and Lady Deathstrike.
Yeah.
They're really the new ones too.
They are. So, do you want to do Deathstrike first?
Let's do Nightcrawler first.
Okay, we'll do Nightcrawler first.
He's who we open the film on.
That is true. So
Alan Cumming plays Nightcrawler.
Yes.
He does the most spot-on German accent I've ever heard for a non-German person. And the makeup, the scars, it was incredibly well done.
And I love that, because in the comics, Nightcrawler doesn't have any symbols or anything. But
no, because he has fur in the comics.
Yes, that is true.
He says it all the time that he's a little furry elf.
Yes.
And he's always the lighthearted Joker. And in this one, he's been kidnapped, he's been tortured, his mind has been played with, so...
Yes, he's very faith-oriented, very faith-based.
Yes.
And each of those scars you see on his, you know, face and back and chest are for every sin that he has committed.
And that is something that's carried over because the character of Nightcrawler in the comics eventually becomes a Catholic priest. He is so in tune with his religion that it makes...
And he is demon-looking. He doesn't kind of look like a demon. And especially in this one, they nix the fur. They just had him be skin and the scars, so he looks very demon-like, but he's still very faith-based.
Yes.
His coat, can we talk about this gorgeous coat he has throughout the whole entire film?
Coat?
Yes.
Yes.
It is, you know, just a kind of normal brown leather duster, but on the back it is just splattered with a bunch of like blue and silver paint drips.
Yes.
It is gorgeous. He doesn't get the red, you know, and black outfit with the big 90s
shoulder pads. And I'm fine with him not wearing a
shoulder pads
with, you know, the Madonna shoulder pads.
I am fine with too, but this coat is so beautiful. So, so, so beautiful. My biggest
issue with the X-Men original trilogy is how Bryan Singer and him did not get along whatsoever, and Alan Cumming was written off. And they even made a video game to explain that Nightcrawler dies in between 2 and 3.
Yeah, which sucked.
Yes.
The video game sucked, but that also sucked. Both
Absolutely.
sucked.
The video game was awful. Don't play that.
No, it was horrible.
Don't play that shit.
No.
Anyway.
But I think Nightcrawler is fantastic, and so for those who do not know anything about X-Men, who those, you know, are just watching, you know, the first 3 movies, you know, for the first time, he shares similar traits with another character in the film, Mystique.
Yes.
In the comics, he is Mystique's son.
With Azazel,
with Azazel, yes,
is introduced in
First Class.
First Class.
Now, they never touch on this in the films, not even the newer films, which kind of still upsets me.
That he was flirting with Mystique, and I never really got that. I thought he had a much deeper connection with Storm.
I totally agree. I wish that would have been something.
Yes.
Totally wish that would have been something.
Can you imagine little demons with a night, with
lightning powers? But he does share a lot of similarities with Mystique. He has yellow eyes, the blue skin, but he gets the powers from his father.
Don't you love that sound? It's so pretty.
It's because we're classy.
Because we're classy.
It's a classy sound.
Yes, Nightcrawler, you know, the director, Matthew Vaughn of First Class, he knew that Nightcrawler and Azazel had those connections, so he brought it back. He made Azazel look exactly like Nightcrawler, just red.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, which was fine with me. It looked really good.
Exactly. But, so that's, Nightcrawler doesn't get any costume change, really. He gets a really pretty coat.
And he stays like that throughout the whole thing.
He does.
So, well done on the body paint.
Yes, he was...
Second, third-ish kind of body-painted character, and
the X-Men love blue. Have you noticed that? A lot of the characters are blue.
Well, a lot of the same characters fuck each other and
have
progeny. Blue progeny everywhere. Blink isn't blue?
That is true. She's not. She's like a pale purple.
Yeah.
But,
anyway, let's talk about Deathstrike.
So, this is the first introduction of one of my favorite characters, because if I'm always asked, you know, would you rather have Wolverine's claws or Deathstrike's talons? Deathstrike's talons.
Well, in
For sure.
the movie, her powers are way different than what they are in
she's not a cyborg.
comics. She's not a cyborg. In the comics, her fingers are actually extra long and not her fingernails. So in this one...
She has this slits. Her fingers open up in the middle and her talons come out.
Yeah. And to me, it looks incredibly difficult to manage, but if you've been like that for a long time, you
know how to work
it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, I'd hate to be a typist with that, but at the same time, you could fuck some shit up.
Yeah, right? So Kelly Hu plays her phenomenal actress.
So good.
This is our first introduction to Lady Deathstrike, and sadly our last too. But
what a beautiful death scene, though.
Yeah. That was a good death scene.
I didn't want her to die whatsoever, but if that's how she was going to go out, they gave her like
she got brought back in the video game that
angelic. Yeah, she did. She got an angelic like death scene. Which
she did.
It was
sad too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they really just forget about Sabretooth and Toad, but they like follow her from
beginning to end.
Yeah, which was nice.
She plays William Stryker's assistant. She's in a brown suit in the beginning of the film.
Yes.
And then she's in a black kind of corseted, tight leather suit at the very end.
Yes. And it looks good.
Yes, the one thing that she keeps throughout everything is she has her nails painted this really pretty silver color.
And she's always
cracking them and just twisting them. And there's, there's a scene where she does that in the film in the White House briefing or in the White House waiting room. Everyone's just like looking at her because she's just...
Yeah, she doesn't crack her nails like a normal...
No, she twists them.
She
just... Oh, it's creepy.
Well, it's metal in there.
It is. And I like that kind of, foreshadowing that she can do that.
Yes.
But,
well, because she was on all the merchandise and marketing, and at that point...
She was hardly in it. She only gets one line in the film.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, if you notice, Mystique only gets one line in the first film.
That is true.
Bryan Singer hates women.
This is what she says all the time.
Yeah.
It's
really obvious. You watch Usual Suspects, X-Men, X-Men 2, Superman Returned, Days of Future Past. He hates women. He hates them with a passion. I don't know why. Like, he looks at us like, why am I even on this planet with you bitches?
Disclaimer, this is not an Opinion of Heroes podcast. Quick
this
disclaimer.
This is my own personal observation that I have as a feminist and an X-Men fan.
So this is just hers. Quick.
Anyway.
Just flashing red lights. Hold on.
Watching Deathstrike and Wolverine fight was pretty incredible because she gets all the best moves. He wins by sheer luck.
Yeah. She has a great costume too.
Absolutely.
She's corseted in. She's in this black leather. Yeah, she has silver contact lenses, which I hear silver is kind of a hard color to deal with. So.
Right, like Maleficent's contacts were hand-painted contacts.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they probably weren't able to just buy this off of Pinky Paradise and walk away.
No. Although that would be cool.
Right.
And she's always in like a slip-back Ariana Grande ponytail.
Before Ariana was cool.
So, screw you, Ariana Grande. You took that from Lady Deathstrike.
Deathstrike ponytail.
Yeah, so, fuck off.
Not an Opinion of Heroes podcast.
Yeah, not the Opinion of Heroes podcast network.
Anyway. Let's move on to 3.
Okay, so 3. 2, we do have one out of the character in there, and that is William Stryker. He's in a military outfit, basically, for a lot of it. He's in a nice turtleneck at the very end.
Grumpy, old man outfit. Look, Brian Cox plays grumpy old men really well, and I love him for it because, if you watch X2 and then you immediately follow up with Super Troopers, you can't hate him.
That's true.
He's adorable.
That's true.
So, let's move on.
All right.
We have a couple new characters of Beast, Kitty Pryde, and Angel.
Yes, and we have Pyro, who was in the second film, too, but he doesn't really get anything
Pyro does not get any cool outfits
He has a cool lighter.
Yes.
That's about it.
They make him have a really cool lighter. I was a little upset that he never got that oxygen tank on him.
Oh,
in the third one, he gets, the small thing on
his wrist. And
I really wanted to see him.
All right, so let's talk about
Last Stand.
The third film, which is a shit show.
Look, it did some beautiful things visually.
I agree.
Because it got rid of the dark and dreary screen over everything.
Yes.
So I will say that it's much prettier to watch. The story is 10 times fucked sideways, but it's prettier at least.
I agree.
It's not an eyesore.
Yes, so let's talk about some of the characters that got revamped looks.
I kind of just want to get the new ones out of the way.
New ones? Okay, let's do the new ones.
Angel is...
shirtless.
You can tell that
and he's good looking shirtless.
Ben Foster's attractive man. That's why Robin Wright is dating him.
It's true.
So he... Really, the most remarkable thing about him is the wings.
Yes.
And they are completely CGI, but he was wearing a skeleton harness throughout a lot of it so that they can build on top of it, do mocap on top of it. And it was a really unique look. What I was disappointed with Angel is that he was in the marketing as
a central character.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Like he had the X-Men uniform, and we never see it. So obviously they planned more for him and didn't do it.
No.
I mean, he was even in concept art for the first and second film, but Bryan Singer didn't feel confident enough to do it. And again, it's
made
because
sense.
Bryan Singer sucks. So anyway, so Beast, however,
he looks fantastic.
Beast is incredible.
Another blue
Kelsey
character.
Grammer. Oh my god.
I would never thought of him to play Beast.
But I was okay with it.
I was too.
I mean, you don't watch an episode of Frasier and think, yeah, this guy could play Hank McCoy,
right? Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, so his look, he's very different than what we see him in the prequel trilogy.
Obviously, yes.
He's very established. He is working with the government.
They used his natural hairline to work with it.
Yeah.
Like, he got the blue mutton chops, but they also dyed his, natural hair. So it was pretty incredible that they worked with his natural facial features, which they didn't do with Nicholas Hoult. They just added a ton of stuff to him.
I agree. And I also
I like his yellow and blue at the end. Oh my god, the yellow and blue
because he puts on the jacket and doesn't fit. Probably goes, hard to believe this one's fit me.
Right.
And it's yellow. It's the first time we actually see something that's an iconic X-Men color in that universe that makes sense.
Beast rarely has a costume.
Exactly, he's
comics.
Shirtless and
he's
that's
usually naked or with Speedos.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they give him a vest to wear is really cool.
It is.
It's nice. I liked it.
Yes.
So Kitty Pryde, Ellen Page.
Pryde, yes.
Her costume's not very remarkable. It fits in with everything else, but boy, was she the perfect Kitty Pryde.
I agree.
I think of her a lot now when I think of Kitty Pryde. The comic version comes after that, and I'm okay with it. I mean, the most far-fetched thing about her was that the Bobby Drake could have a chance with her.
That was,
No.
That was weird.
No.
And again, she gets the black X-Men outfit with
kind of
colored
orange-ish?
piping. No, it's pink.
It's pink?
Yeah, it's pink.
Okay, I'm sorry about
Which
that.
was an odd choice. I was expecting maybe like a purple, like a blue for her.
Maybe, yeah.
But they went with pink, hot pink.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Sure, because she's a girl.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
What did you think of Vinnie Jones's Juggernaut?
Well...
Why did they say that line from the YouTube video? Why did they do it?
It's
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. No.
I don't get it. And his helmet, as Kitty Pryde pointed out, looks like a penis head. It looks like a penis head.
Yeah. See, in the comics, he gets a full dome.
Yeah.
And it makes more sense to me. It's less mushroom. It
upset me. And that character was kind of just a throwaway character. They put him in here for muscle.
Man.
Yeah, that was horrible.
He was a complete waste.
He had the symbol on his chest, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Juggernaut at all.
You know who I did like?
Who?
I loved Jean Grey's red outfit.
Oh, yeah, her Dark Phoenix outfit.
I know they messed up the Phoenix
Oh, they
storyline.
fucked it up completely.
You don't have to tell me this, but...
We get it, everyone. It's okay. They fucked it up royally.
But that outfit, yo!
So she comes back from the dead, with longer hair, apparently, because that's what happens.
That's what happens when you die. Your hair grows longer.
Yep. In the X-Men universe, it does.
Anyway.
So, she comes back, all messed up in the head.
And when she joins the Brotherhood, she gets this great red duster. She gets this fantastic corset and these beautiful red pants. And, to be completely
And doesn't
honest,
say a thing until the very end, basically.
Right, no.
Brett Ratner hates women, too.
Cute. But that outfit, if there was anything I was going to cosplay head to toe from the films, it would be that. And I don't do it because of all the shit I would get from cosplaying the worst character.
And here's the thing. That, the red represents very much the Dark Phoenix from the comic book.
Yes. Because her outfit changed from green to red.
Yes.
When she was possessed by the Phoenix.
And she had green piping on her X-Men black uniform.
She did.
So it made sense to go with red.
Yeah.
But And it makes sense not to be in a full Phoenix, jumpsuit because she's not a cosmic entity in this. She's, a multiple personality disorder.
Yes.
Whatever, that makes sense.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
Sure. But that, to me, was the best standalone outfit of the whole film.
I agree, and I like how her hair went even more darker red.
Yes.
And I liked her makeup effects, too.
You liked the skin thing?
I liked it.
Okay.
Because, so here's the thing.
Defend yourself.
Okay, no. It's like... Calm down, Beyonce.
Never.
So when she goes to her whole full Phoenix...
Yeah.
She just, kind of has a little bit of black around the eyes.
But
when she goes full Dark Phoenix, her eyes get completely black. It makes sense.
And then she also gets, like, the veins that
are
filled with tar and, the greenish scales and stuff.
She doesn't get scales?
She does,
No,
too.
she does not get scales.
Yes, she does.
Oh, my... Where?
Oh.
Where?
Oh, bitch.
Oh, okay. Pull out the receipts, please.
Anyway.
We're going to see Phoenix with scales, apparently. But...
How do
So,
Phoenix is getting scales.
I like that look because it gives her a sense of kind of demonic possession. Like, she cannot control her powers. Mm-hmm. So, I like that they did that. Do I like what they did with the character?
No.
But I do like that effect. And it wasn't makeup, actually. It was all full CG. Oh, here we go. Hold, please.
That's a really difficult picture.
Oh, it's a difficult picture.
Calm your tits!
It's a difficult picture.
It's not blowing up, really.
Mm-hmm.
Scales, mofo.
Those are veins, I think.
I know the difference between veins and scales.
Mystique has scales. Those are veins.
Yes, she does. Anyway, now we have to watch the stupid X3 movie,
and
that sucks.
We have to watch it. But,
she was the highlight of the looks, in my opinion.
Yes.
And they even added a ton of characters. They added some of the Morlocks in there, and
they had Psylocke in there.
Callisto was cool. Dialogue. Callisto was the coolest. I
did like that look.
The Omega tattoos, and in the comics, Callisto is...
She's an eye patch, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They use this word for her a lot. She's ugly.
Yeah.
They describe her as ugly. So Danya Ramirez is not an ugly woman.
No.
And she was badly killed off by getting electrocuted.
That was a cool scene, though.
It was cool.
Because I like the little smoke coming off of her piercing. That was cool. It was a cool touch.
But the Omega tattoos were a cool look. And I liked that there was a sect of mutants out there that wanted to be identified as a mutant.
Yes, correct.
I almost got an Omega tattoo because of that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And then you would have been like, oh, this is X3.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
That always stopped me.
Yeah. Good.
Anyway.
But so overall, the characters' looks don't really change throughout these films.
Right.
The classic X-Men black outfits, stay the same.
It does, yeah. Wolverine is more shirtless in this?
He is. He gets, jeans and a wife beater throughout half of the film, so nothing really changes there.
Nope.
Scott's visor changes in X2 from X1.
It does.
Gets thinner. But other than that, these characters don't really change. That's what kind of works for these X-Men films for the first three.
And they connect better that way.
They do. Each,
it
know
also
who they
makes
are.
more sense. If you look at the current MCU, Captain America gets a new outfit every movie, and it's not always necessarily...
Iron Man gets a new outfit every scene.
But he has
almost.
money. His character has
true.
money, and he can do that. Like, why does Black Widow need 4 different suits? To me, like,
I can see, tactical versions, but not,
I think, she needs 2 or 3 for laundry day kind of thing. But, like, you don't need
her lounging suit.
Yeah. And as cool as it looked, I really didn't think that the electricity running through her whole suit was necessary.
No.
It made it look cool. It really
It worked for her widow bites when she punches people, but that's about it.
But it worked in the first movie without it.
Well, Joss Whedon decided to make her blue.
Whatever. Anyway, that's our second episode, people.
Yes. So...
What do you like about X-Men?
Yeah. What you don't... Actually, do what you do like, because the don't like is going to be too long, so...
Exactly. So tell us who's your favorite character, who's your favorite costume, and let us know what next X-Men you want us to talk about.
Like I said, we're going to do the 3 prequels soon. We don't know when, but we will be doing those, so no worries if they're comics, video games, what have you.
Absolutely.
Ray, where can they find you?
Super Sirens?
That's the one.
That's the one?
That's the one.
Yeah. I didn't know if you meant, like, my physical location.
Well, no, we can't say that yet.
Okay. Anyway, how about you, dear?
I'm at House of Turner Cosplay.
Because you're fancy.
Because I'm fancy.
Because you're fancy.
You can find us also at the Heroes Podcast Network. All the links are going to be down in the description below.
You can check out our other shows based on video games and movies, Screen Heroes and
I'm on there
Heroes.
sometimes.
I'm on there a lot.
She's on there all the time. I'm on there sometimes.
All the time.
But I'm on here all the time. This is my house.
We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.